My talk for tonight is called Dig Out the Shadows and Pour in the Love. There are those in our movement who say, turn away from the condition, but I am not one of those. I believe we have work to do if, and I say if, you are not manifesting what you want instantly. If you are, well, then you've got the whole living life in an enlightened state thing mastered, and you don't need to listen to this talk anymore. But if you do your affirmative prayer work, which in Science of Mind we call spiritual mind treatment, and are not seeing what you are praying demonstrate instantly, then this talk might be for you. To understand what I'm saying here, first let's take a look at the steps of spiritual mind treatment. The first step is knowing that there is only one. Everything, seen and unseen, is made out of the same oneness. Some call it God, some call it spirit. Like you were saying, some call it mother, father, whatever name you use. The point is that there is only one creating everything out of itself. And because we know this to be true, the second step is then knowing that because there is only one, we must be that one. We must be, because that's all there is. And because there is only one, and this one is very, very creative, we must be creative too. Which then leads to step 3, which is affirming that we know, and there is that word know again, that we are affirming it's already created. The reason we can affirm something as already created that we don't see demonstrated before our eyes is that time is not a continuum. And so the creative part of our minds does not see time as linear. It sees time the way we present it. So we become this incredible creative force when we know that something already is, and thus we move on to step 4, which is being grateful for what has already been created, that we stated is already created, and then in step 5, we just let it go. Now, sometimes when we do such a prayer, and we really do truly know, what it is we know shows up right away, like it drops into our laps. And then we're like blown away by what just happened. And we're like, wow, look at this. It's a miracle. But when it doesn't happen, what's really going on? Is this the power that some of us call God playing favorites, or deciding for us that what we can have immediately and what we need to wait for? No. This is not how this power works. In Science of Mind, we believe this power always, always, always says yes. So if what we just said is already manifest and we don't see that manifestation, what else is going on? What's going on is the mixed message we are sending out to the creative force that says yes. When we doubt ourselves, it says yes. When we feel we don't deserve it, this wonderful, loving, creative force says yes. When we don't think well of ourselves, this benevolent, rich, abundant power says yes. Dr. Holmes reminds us life is a blackboard upon which we consciously or unconsciously write those messages which govern us. Spirit cannot be or become antagonistic towards us. It is always flowing into us and ever expressing itself as us. So like we say around here all the time, it's an inside job. We can work our fingers to the bone trying to change our conditions on the outside, but until we stop the mixed messages sent by our unconscious selves, we will continue to manifest stuff in a way that is not to our liking. Am I saying that we are unhealed, need fixing, or like something is wrong with us? No. It's just that we have an entire world going on inside that we may not be completely aware of. Our conscious selves are just the tip of the iceberg of the totality of who we are. The rest of us, the unconscious part of ourselves, is sending out messages all the time, just like the conscious part of ourselves. Now take a deep breath. I know this is heady stuff. I also know that for most, if not all of you, this is not the first time you've heard this. But like me, we need reminders from time to time, especially when the outward appearance feels so much larger than what we think we can have impact on. Carl Jung tells us Until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. It's up to us to get the message of what we want to create crystal clear. It is up to us to stop putting ourselves down, beating ourselves up. Every bit of doing so is a prayer being sent out to this infinite power, which simply says yes. So if you are not manifesting exactly what you have affirmed, it is because other less positive affirmations are being spoken by a part of you. The creative power that says yes does not delineate between conscious and unconscious affirmations. This is a very important point to get. This incredible creative power, which we are creating all the time, does not know the difference between our conscious and unconscious affirmations. Dr. Holmes tells us the law of mind obeys the orders that are given to it, whether they are conscious or unconscious, that such orders are being given. Being entirely sensitive to what we embody and by its very nature, absolutely receptive as well as intelligent and responsive to it, and at the same time being creative. It is easy to see what a tremendous power we have at our conscious disposal. Always remember that you are not dealing with a reluctant force, but with a completely receptive one, which by its very nature is compelled to receive the images of your thought. So what we think, conscious or unconscious, has incredible power in its combined message in creating what it is shows up in our lives. Now, sometimes those unconscious affirmations were taken on from outside ourselves through race consciousness, our parents, or simply someone we felt had power over us, who we took on as an authority figure. Dr. Holmes says when we use this incredible power unconsciously, it leads to a tendency on the part of all of us to reproduce the accumulated subjective experiences of the human race. And that's not what we want. One of my favorite limiting thoughts I hear people speak all the time is, let's be realistic. What is that? What is being realistic when we are creating our reality every moment of every day? Or I hear this a lot, sentences that start with I know and continue with affirmations you definitely don't want to know. Like, I know this is going to be hard. Or I know da-da-da, I need da-da-da to accomplish whatever. Or I know this is the only way this can work. Really? Is that what you want to know? Most times I point out to what the person just said, and they don't even realize they said it like that. It was unconscious. So what we want to do is dig out those unconscious thoughts and beliefs. Dig them out. Become aware they are going on inside us, not give them, and that does not give them power. Just the opposite, because as unconscious affirmations, they're having a lot of power on our ability to manifest the life of our dreams. By digging them up, we can create the habit of putting them aside and allowing ourselves to keep our message clear. And that's when what we call miracles occurs. They're really not miracles. They're simply clear, embodied, creative affirmations that manifest instantly because there is no unconscious mixed message to contradict what it is we say we want. That's all. When something manifests right away, we can know that we've cleared out the shadows and poured in the love. Because this is about loving ourselves, it always comes down to that. Compassion, love, caring for ourselves, which of course leads to compassion, love, and caring for others. The more we can dig out the shadows, the more room we can make for accepting in love, wonder, awe, a magnificent life, the one that is our birthright. We are powerful, creative, spiritual beings creating all the time. And if it doesn't feel that way, if your experience is that you and your life are less than that, dig in. Find out what's bubbling beneath the surface of your conscious self to end its power and fire up your conscious choices to the level where every day you experience what others call miracles. So how do you do that? You might ask. Take classes that build habits. Weekend workshops are great for inspiration, but it takes 21 days to build a habit. One of my favorite classes that we offer through YANA Virtual Center for Spiritual Living is called The Art of Knowing and Nothing Against You, of which everybody here is in. But for those of you out there who will be viewing this video, it's a 21-day process whereby you dig out your shadow self and pour in who you have come here to be. It opens your heart to the truth of who you are and helps you remember when you need it most, the most powerful creative being you are. It has transformed my way of being in the world, especially around trigger points, and I'm sure it will yours as well, if you do the work, because no one can do the work for you. The next class starts on July 11th and costs $100. The class is limited to 20 people, so if you're interested in this heart-opening, transformative work, I highly recommend signing up soon. It's time to stop letting your unconscious beliefs, thoughts, and feelings run your life. Take a stand, dig out the shadows, and pour in the love. Thank you.